Hello, das Interwebs. It is I, Sebastian from InvestComics.com, and this is FFFIC. Here we are in beautiful back room. Famous Faces and Funnies, get your fun on. Game Comic Funporium. I just made that last part up, but we should call it a Funporium, because really, it's very porium, and it's very fun. But, alright, we got a big stack of books, and you're not here to hear me make up words. Unless you are, because, it's the internet. There's something for everybody. So this could be your thing, is me making up words. But, really, I suggest going outside then, because clearly the internet is not helping you. So let's start with Aminal Man. Aminal Man. Did you say Aminal? Yeah, I like to say Aminal. But yes, Animal Man, number 27, as it nears the end. Oh, nothing ever goes well for Buddy Baker and his family. But you know what does go well? They got, Raphael Albuquerque on art. And that's nice. I'll be sad when this ends. But Jeff Lemire's going to keep Animal Man because he's going to be going to Canada and space with the Justice League United. United across Canada and space. It's just good. It's gorgeous. It's Animal Man. It's going to end. It's sad, but it's Animal Man, and it made it 27 issues. And really, who would have thought that could happen? And it's happening more and more lately, but I don't know. It's Animal Man like it's a big rampaging monster. Liking it. You got Brother Blood, and Brother Blood's name is Sebastian. And as we know, that's the coolest name you could possibly have. So if you can be named Sebastian and in Animal Man and the Arrow TV show, clearly it's because of the name. That's really all it is. Sebastian, his brother Blood, is to be feared because his name is Sebastian. Indestructible Hulk number 18. Banner smart. Terrigen gas tricky. The Banner bomb has gone off. The other Avengers admit, holy shit, Banner's like a genius. Well, they knew he was a genius, but now they accept that he's a their level genius. However, Terrigen mists, they are not of Earth. So when you apply Earth physics and laws to your bomb, it makes great sense unless it turns out the not from Earth mists. Well, it's always hit or miss with Terrigen. Wah, wah, and my jokes. But no, Mark Waid is brilliant. Mark Waid writes things that you would not think of. He's mastered the comic genre. Like everybody always says, oh, we're going to try and do something that we don't see. But I don't think Mark Waid tries to do something. I don't think he sits down and says, maybe he does. I mean, I don't know. I'm not Mark Waid. I can't really speak for the man. But he does it so naturally that it does not appear that he's, some people you see, oh, look how hard they're trying to not do the same thing. All right? A lot of New 52 changes. Some seemed like, oh, that's clever, and some seemed like, wow, we really made a change that wasn't a change, so much as we were trying to, this is what the character was like, we want to do something different. So we didn't make a change so much as we went as far away from the original character concept as we could, and then gave a speech about how we've embraced the core of the character. All right, so that, those kind of changes, not so good. Mark Waid writes books that they are everything you want a superhero comic to be. They're clearly within the superhero realms of possibility and rules and laws and superhero universes and blah, 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 blah. But he just very naturally takes it in that's new in a world where nothing really ever should be new. At this point, superhero comics, there should be nothing new in them. We've done it. We've seen it. But Mark Waid can do that, and that's why you should be reading this. And the new Hulk, when that one ends, it becomes because Marvel likes to end shit and start things with number ones because they do. As Peter Palmiotti was talking about it on the Book of Face. That's Facebook if you're Yoda. No, but yeah, on Facebook he was talking about that, and we were making fun of it. Hi, Peter. Wonder Woman continues to be so good. One of the best books in the New 52. Cliff Chang's art is gorgeous. Brian Azzarello just writes a really entertaining story, and you can say what you want, 'cause you know, people love to get... Wonder Woman is one of those characters people love to get really mad about, how people think it's not being done right. But Wonder Woman, you know, Wonder Woman books have never... So clearly, there are always more people complaining than have ever bought Wonder Woman books. So if you really love the character that much, buy the damn books, people! It's Wonder Woman. You know, they just announced today that the rumor is that... I don't remember her name. The Israeli actress, the one that got cast as Gal something, right? They got cast as Wonder Woman, has signed a 3-movie contract, and the rumor is that the 3 movies are Superman, Batman, Justice League, and Wonder Woman. So maybe we're finally going to get a Wonder Woman movie, which on the one hand will be awesome, and on the other hand it'll give a whole lot of people something to complain about, because that's one of those things. Wonder Woman is one of those characters people love to complain isn't handled right, no matter how she's handled. But yeah, this has been really good. It's really entertaining. Read it. She's both strong and smart, and yet has her moments of
vulnerability.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, more. Not even vulnerability, just softer moments. You know, like the softer side of Sears. You know, come see the softer side of Amazon. Jackhammer. Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this. Jackhammer is by Brandon Barrows and art by Ionic, which, you know, my mother almost named me that, but then my dad couldn't spell it. So they went with Sebastian, which was his name, and he probably still can't spell it, but it was easier for him to remember. But nonetheless, Brandon Barrows wrote this. Brandon Barrows is... See, we live in that age where I can say he's a friend of mine that I've never met. We've known each other since way back when I wrote for a different, a non-Invest Comics comic book news site back in the day. We became friends through the message boards. For a while, I confused him with somebody else, and I really thought I hated him. But it turned out that was somebody else on the same message boards. Sorry, Brandon. I don't know if you knew that I thought I hated you, but it was somebody else I hated. See the problem with not knowing who people are because of das interwebs? But yeah, this is really, really good. It's a crime noir story in a world with superheroes. And he used to be Jackhammer, and now he is a private investigator. He's put his costuming days behind him, and there's a story behind that. But this is the first issue. Relax, we haven't gotten all of it yet. It's there. But it opens with a death that could only be done, it would appear, by a superpower. So the cops are investigating, and so is Jackhammer. But the people who hired Jackhammer to do this case, he's not really supposed to be solving it. He was supposed to be finding the guy who turned up dead. But the people behind it, I think you get the impression these guys did not want good things to happen to the person they found. So they're happy with this. But Jackhammer doesn't like it when he's hired to find somebody and they end up dead. So Jack is looking into the hows, whys, and wherefores. And the powers that be don't want any hows, whys, and wherefores. So you've got conflicts on multiple levels. And it's really well done with some really, really enjoyable character and smooth dialogue. And as an English teacher, English major, studier of language that I am, really that's one of the main things I look for is how does the dialogue go and the thoughts, and does it flow smooth. And this was a lot of fun. So and yeah, so it's good. Read this. It's Action Labs, so it's a great book with some wonderful art, a really good story. And Action Labs has still to this day my favorite logo in comics. Here, Magic Hands. Hold up the nice little Action Labs logo against, Action Labs. Here's the dog with a jetpack, and he's an Action Lab. Makes me happy. Inhumanity, Mighty Avengers. Oh, Peter's gonna have a hard time making friends with the Mighty Avengers when he gets his body back, because Doc Ock doth runneth his Doc Ockian mouth, and Luke Cage and his wife, alias, beat the fuck out of Ock. And all of Ock's minions, and Ock pouts and pulls a, I've got the other Avengers, I don't need you guys, swing away. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, ultimately you would think at this point, I mean, I get it, whatever, but really, come on. Doc Ock's personality is so different from Peter's, and in cases like this, the Avengers, I mean, under the Bendis run, he was with these characters. He was with Luke Cage for like the entire Bendis run. You'd think that, wow, you're not even this. I'm to a point where I'm going to beat the crap out of you, and you're not even making wisecracks. You're not the same guy. You'd think it would be awesome for the case to be cracked by Luke Cage and whatever Jessica, whatever alias his name is, and they just be like, it's totally not him. Let's punch him till he admits who he is, and that would have been great. But still, this is like one of my favorite Avengers. Possibly, actually, no, this is my favorite Avengers book right now. It's the only Avengers book I buy. The others kind of give me a headache. Batman and Two-Face. Batman has to team up with Two-Face, and I forget her name. The kind of seriously psychotic Irish gangster that Two-Face is trying to kill. And there are just some great moments, and then it gets even bigger. There's just mobsters on top of mobsters on top of mobsters. It's good. Supergirl is so angry. She should probably get a red. Oh, she will. But Lobo is dissected. The new original Lobo is dissected, but unfortunately, he gets better, and the story is good. I mean, it's Tony Bedard. Tony Bedard can write. I like Tony Bedard. He writes really well. For some reason, the powers that be like to take artists and writers that I really, really love and put them on things that I just, like at this point, I'm done with all the supers in the New 52. I can't. I read Superman, Wonder Woman because Charles Soule. I read whatever, but they're just not fun. Tony's story is really, really good. He's even, he started it. It's going to be a lot more natural than it seemed to have. The idea of what, Supergirl's going to be a Red Lantern? No, she's been angry. She's been angry since the incarnation of the New 52 Supergirl. She's been pissed. That's pissed and or confused. Those have been her two main, her go-to. Her go-to emotional states. But in this one, she's kind of really pissed, and I guess fighting any Lobo would piss you off. Having to share your book with the Lobo, the New 52 Lobo poster, will really piss you off. But also, that look for this Lobo, really only certain artists are going to be able to pull that off. Those weird little glowy things by his eyes and become more distracting and strange looking. Like, who's drawn this book? It's this is Yildiray Sonar, and I love his art. He's gorgeous. I love everything he has done and continue to. But that look is just so weird that I don't know. It most of the time it kind of makes the character look cross-eyed almost, because there's these little glowing blue boomerangs stuck in between where your eyes meet your nose, and it's just very distracting. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's more distracting than adding unnecessary lines to beautifully, classically simplistic and aesthetic comic book costumes. So I don't know what to tell you there. But story-wise, it's Tony. But bear with it when Lobo goes. It's Tony Bedard on Supergirl. Really, that's a good thing, people. That's a good thing. XMen with the X-Women and Johnny Sublime. John Sublime is good. I continue to like this book. First, it's got Terry Dodson and Rachel Dodson doing art, so really, it's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And it's got a lot of characters I like, and this story's been good. I don't know what to tell you. I know, it's good. Avengers World is okay. but it's got Sunspot and Cannonball a little bit. Mostly they're captured. Really, it's about Smasher, who, considering that in the 2014 vernacular, smash means, is a slang term for having sex. The name Smasher is an embarrassing superhero name to have. I'm Smasher. All right, let's line up. The supervillains want to fight her. And in the end, due to a transformation, her costume ends up accidentally making her look like she stole Hank Pym's Yellow Jacket costume. So that'll happen sometimes to you. But I don't know. Hydra's all over the place lately. AIM. I'm sorry. It's the AIM guys in there. No longer looking like beekeepers. Now they got kind of weird alien-looking beekeeper armor. But they're all over the place, and they got their island, and they're movers and shakers as the new bad guys for the Marvel Now. So if you're into that kind of thing, there you go. This I liked and didn't expect to, because it was not what I expected. This is Avengers numero 25, which has they did all new Avengers, and they acted like they were doing the XMen thing, where the Avengers from the past come. But that's not what they did. These are Avengers from an alternate world. They happen to be closer to our but they're not. They don't call Thor. They call him Odin's son. And they're not exactly nice Avengers. They're more, we're going to take over the world and tell you how it's run dictator Avengers, which nobody was expecting. And Hank Pym is dead, but there's a Hank Pym with them, and we don't know if it's our Hank Pym that's dead or a Hank Pym from yet another universe that's dead. But they found a dead Hank Pym and aren't sure if it's ours. But it was good. LaRocca's art, gorgeous. Hickman's writing was on the level that I was able to comprehend, which it isn't always. So that's a plus. Scribble Nuts Unmasked. It's Scribble Nuts. And it's fun, and yeah, it was just fun. If you're big on the Scribblenauts game, you're really gonna like this. I think story-wise, it was a lot more tell than show, but I liked the gags and stuff, so it was cool. All new X-Men #1, starting the Trial of Phoenix, which I don't understand why they're trialing Phoenix. They already had a Trial of Phoenix. This kid wasn't even ever Phoenix. I don't get, it's really the trial of Jean Grey. They're just guilt by association. You're a Jean Grey, therefore you're a Phoenix. If it's really Trial of Phoenix, I don't understand why they didn't come down and grab the other 5 idiots who just had the Phoenix Force. But whatever. You're the Shi'ar. You just make this shit up as you go. It's with the apostrophe. It's the Shi'ar, I guess, is their actual name. Because they just, make shit up as they go along and have funny hair and crushes on Professor X. But it's so good. It's so gorgeous. Because, Immonen on art, not going to go wrong there. And Bendis, I love Bendis on X-Men so much more than I ever loved Bendis on Avengers. And I liked Bendis on Avengers for a while. But eventually, Bendis on Avengers, it was like the same stuff was happening. And it was like nothing. The Bendis' run on Avengers tend to be defined by in-betweens. They're always in between something. Some crossover series, and here's the Avengers running around doing, we're in trouble. People are mad at us. Nothing ever happened. The X books, shit's been happening. Shit never stops happening. These are the most exhausted X-Men ever. It's like they get home and they're like, oh my god, I just want to go to, oh my god, world's in trouble. Stuff is always happening, and it's so good. I did not expect to be the X fan I've become of late. Wolverine and the X-Men, my favorite X book, which will be ending, and I'm not as interested in the new take on Wolverine and the X-Men. So I will probably check it out because it's got a lot of characters I love, but I'm less enthused. This was my shit. But I'll be reading Amazing X-Men because it's some of the people from here are going over there, and it's got Nightcrawler, so fuck it. That's all I need. But this was so good. Focused on the kids and the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who took over, and the kids get some serious... it's School Pride Day. It's like Spirit Day at the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters. but they don't have like dress in pajamas kind of shit for Spirit Day. They have mess with the heads, quite literally, eventually, of undercover Shield agents, and it was touching. There's definitely an air of the melancholy on the, aside from just the fact that this is all coming to an end and makes me sad. Fracture number 2, again from Action Lab. Flying puppy. I love the first Fracture. I'm loving this series even more. The idea was that Virtue, this guy Jeff, is Virtue, but he's not. Virtue has his own secret identity. Jeff, his mind is fractured into all these splinter personalities, and he has like powers, but each one accesses different powers, and he had no idea about any of them. He was the greatest hero and the greatest villain. He was his own archenemy, had no idea any of what was happening. But now he's been separated, he's been cloned, so there's a clone of him that has just the Virtue personality, but it turns out there were more personalities than even they knew of, and there were other heroes and other villains, and in this he turns into a guy called Dandelion, who's like a cross between the Golden Age Sandman and Poison Ivy, but as a good guy, and really, really cool. There's some good stuff in here, and it's well written, and I love the art. Reminds me of this Ciccone guy. The double C is technically could be Ciccone, but Chad Ciccone reminds me of old school, like Mitch Bird, like Cat and Mouse. Does anybody beside me remember that? Anybody out there remember Cat and Mouse by Mitch Bird from I don't remember what comic company. It was so good. I love that book. All right, but it reminds me of that, and es très bien. So read that. It's fun. Deadly Class. It's a Rick Remender book that doesn't hurt your head. Because sometimes they do, but when they don't, they're awesome. Even when they do, they're awesome. It's just, you always know that you're not getting the full level of awesomeness, because you're not getting it all. But this was so good. Homeless kid who may or may not be a burgeoning psychopath gets recruited. He's been observed, but he gets recruited because he has potential to go down to a school for assassins, and he's picked out and has to decide, does he want to embrace the darker sides of him, or does he want to not? And of course he does, because otherwise it'd be over. There would be no comic. It would be Deadly Class Dropout, and that wouldn't work so good. But yeah, it's really, really good. And who does the art on this? Wes Craig art, gorgeous, very stylized. It has that cool, that same feel that all the like Hawkeye and any of the cool Mark Waid's Daredevil. That it has that look and feel. That cool. It's mainstream, but it looks indie, but not like they made it look indie. It's indie that's become so cool that mainstream couldn't ignore it, kind of stuff. Is très bien. All New Invaders I liked, and I'm not a huge fan of these characters. I really checked it out because it was a #1, and I felt it was important enough to review. But it was mostly Jim Hammond for this issue, the non-human Human Torch from the Golden Age, and yeah, it was good. I will say that I continue to think, like, people like to complain, that they change movie costumes, from the comic character, because let's face it, comic book costumes don't really work in the real world. They're drawn to a certain aesthetic, and that loses something in the real world. But I think it applies the other way, because I just can't like Captain America drawn to look like the movie style. He's got all those hexagons instead of on his and the helmet and the gloves and the work pants and the chest piece that just looks like he's wearing some kind of freaking body armor halter top. It doesn't work in a comic. Simplify that shit, especially since then look there's Winter Soldier in the same style. He's got the same style pants and whatever, but it's drawn comic book looking. Whereas this is drawn, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Black Widow, so gorgeous. The comic art. Also, Black Widow is gorgeous. Let's face it, Natasha's gorgeous. But really, this is like Avengers Burn Notice, and it's so good. She's, redeeming herself, or trying to, for the sins of her past, because, assassins tend to not have great pasts. So she's trying to make up for that in a still kind of assassin-y way. So it's like a more hard-edged, she takes these jobs to try and do the right thing. I'm loving her little lawyer handler guy. He's even more badass than she is, because, if you're the lawyer for an assassin, yeah, you're the scariest motherfucker on the planet, let's face it. So, it's good. Harley Quinn #2 is so gorgeous. Oh my god. Harden, Chad Harden, a lot of Chads today. Chad Harden art, so good. His art is like, how do I put it? He's got that Frank Cho aesthetic, but he can draw different faces on the women. Did I just say that out loud? I did. I love you, Frank Cho, but everybody looks like Brandy. I don't know what to tell you. Chad here, Chad can draw some faces. And if there's ever going to be a team that writes more in sync with their personalities than Palmiotti and Gray, it's going to be Palmiotti and Connor. Because they're them. And it was so good and so fun. And probably the most I've liked Harley and Poison Ivy in the New 52. Although I really liked the Birds of Prey, especially when it first started and Jesus Sayas was on art. I love that man. Oh, I love that man. But yeah, this is so good. She's got, hallucinates her talking stuffed beaver. So of course you get every, it's only issue 2, but you've already, yes, if there is a beaver pun out there, there's an innuendo to be found. Palmiotti and Connor will find innuendo and they'll throw it in your window. They'll kick you. They'll go in your door to find your innuendo. So it's so good, and the expressions and faces. I can't get past. I can't say enough about Chad Harden's art. I can't, because this video is already running long. So I can't say enough. But if I could, I would do a whole separate video on how gorgeous this book is, and it's so much fun. Read it. X-Files, Conspiracies, Ghostbusters. This is your one-shot in which the lone gunmen try to defraud the Ghostbusters. They try to debunk the Ghostbusters, not defraud. They accuse them of defrauding the public, and they come to check and see if any of this is legit while trying to... and you end up with a whole discussion between Myers and Egon about time travel hypotheticals and theories, and of course the gunmen run off, still believing, half believing that the Ghostbusters are a fraud. Ghostbusters firmly convinced that those are the 3 weirdest guys you've ever met, and Frohickey really wants to hit Janine, and I mean hit in the smash sense. Vernacular is fun. So it's everything you want. Really, again, here's my whole review. Lone Gunmen meet Ghostbusters. Awesome.
The conversation with Venkman.
Justice League 27. Cyborg 2.0. Cyborg and Dad reconcile. That's really the most important thing. It gets to the heart of the man who is more machine than man now. Darth Stone. So they kill a Doom Patrol that has really only one member I recognized, but leave potential to introduce the Doom Patrol we want, including, you want me to rebuild you, he says, to a brain in a jar, so we could get a Robot Man that hopefully looks more like Robot Man than the Robot Man from...
Incredible Journey?
What the hell was it?
Journey into Mystery?
Yeah, something. No.
My Greatest Adventure.
That was it. That hurt. It was not anybody's greatest adventure, that story. But yeah, this is gorgeous. It's so well done, and it's really you hear buzz terms in comic. Well, it's character driven. This is really great. Vic Stone and his dad coming together, and now the opposite of it's the dad saying, "No, I'll never do that to you again. I'm not going to make you cyborg." And this time Vic saying, "No, make me cyborg." And they come to terms and kind of do it together. It's a nice little father-son and Dr. Tiomaro bonding moment, because that happens sometimes. And then he goes out looking for the Metal Men, to what seems like not great results, but they're on the cover of the next issue, so it must get somehow better for the Metal Men. So that's a plus. All new XFactor, it's Peter David on All New XFactor. It's perfect. It's pitch perfect. The only thing that was missing, and this made me a little sad, Pad, if you're watching, we need to get back to the... I read this whole first page, and first I couldn't tell what, something, and then I realized it's all just kind of, exposition and introduction, and, and recap. There's no, the previous XFactor run always went, previously in XFactor, and then underneath it, meanwhile, in Peter's world, and it would have, updates of what was going on in Peter David's world. And that's missing. And I missed this. And I hadn't even realized I missed it. Also, you're shocked to know that Quicksilver pisses people off. It's amazing development. And I love it. The art, I'm not sure who drew this. Carmine D. Oh, this is so Italian that even Sebastiano Francisco Piccione is having a hard time with this. Let's work on this, shall we? Carmine D. Giandomenico. There you go. Giandomenico. Carmine Di Giandomenico. Sì, molto bene. I'm the only member of my family who speaks Italian, and I'm rusty. Because I got no one to speak it with. But it's good. It's good. It's Peter David. It's XFactor. It manages to touch all the right chords for anyone who's a Peter David XFactor fan. But it literally, when they say all new, it's not the same XFactor, but it still feels like coming home. I don't know how Peter David does that, and my hat's off to you. Literally, I'm not even wearing a hat. I may never wear a hat again. That's how off to you it is. Like Peter David's gonna watch this. I got one Peter. Hi Peter, it's Palmiati. It's 2 shout-outs in 1 episode. Because really, I think you're the only one watching. Batman 27. It's iconic, yet set pre-iconic. Snyder and Capullo draws a great book. And the color, I don't know who's coloring this, but there are colors that you would not ever expect with a Bat book, and it just works so well. And if I notice your colors, then that's impressive, because I don't even necessarily see them. But, so many gorgeous panels. Just this one panel of Alfred is just... It's just, there's so much emotion in just this solid blacks and his, slightly sanding as he's trying to explain, Bruce, we're trying to help you and you're determined to do this on our own, and I think you're punishing us. It's so well done. I can't even say it enough. And the Riddler, somewhere out there in the heart of Georgia, sits Lan Pitts, giggling like a schoolgirl, because 1, that's what he does, and 2, the Riddler is like out batting Batman in this, and that's an impressive thing to be able to do. And Riddler is Lan Pitts' favorite Bat villain, so possibly favorite villain. He just loves that guy. So that's a plus right there. Lone Ranger, another done in 1, really good. I still love this. Esteve Paul's art, and Andy Parks writes a good Lone Ranger, so that's fun. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, he's still just man. He's not really of bronze yet, and that's confusing me. This has a lot of Pat Savage, his cousin and other adventurer, who's bronzed in so much as she's got a nice tan, but there's still not a lot of Man of Bronze, slick, all action going on there. Suicide Risk is more awesome than I can tell you. It's really ramping it up. I'm feeling for this guy, and I'm dying to know how. You know, I mean, it's called Suicide Risk. It doesn't sound like a book that ends well. So I'm dying to know how this resolves itself. But read this. This is good. Hawkeye, number 16. It's the Kate Bishop Hawkeye, and yeah, when you go and make an arch enemy out of Madam Mask, if you're not Iron Man, then it sucks to be you. But this is really Madam Mask just kind of does a peekaboo. I'm still there towards the end. Mostly this is again all character driven, just great. This book is awesome, and if you're not reading this, read this book. Skyward number 5, Rabbites, big bunny warriors, and giant birds that take out. See this kind of speedball as penance looking bad guy. Bird kicks his ass. But this book is a lot of fun. It's beautiful to look at. It's really it's a labor of love because Jeremy Dale is the creator. He's the writer. He's the artist. He's the 95% of this book and 250% of the drive behind this book. So it's the kind of book where you just enjoy it because you know that the guy writing it does. Mocking Dead, I forgot to read, so I'm not reviewing it. Realm Knights from Xenoscope, number 4, ends this series. Scared me for a bit because it looked like it was killing one of the characters I really liked. Helsing, kind of cyberpunk vampire hunter. But you know, when you're killing people with time warping weapons, when they get broken and time readjusts itself, they may not be as dead as you thought. So, thank you, Xenoscope, because I would have cried. I would have literally cried. But this is over, and it already sets you up for potential further adventures for the whole team, but also further adventures for Robin Hood, who is my favorite Xenoscope character at the moment, and Red Riding Hood, who has grown on me, and I like the two of them have a kind of rivalry, friendship thing that happens. Sometimes they're beating the crap out of each other, sometimes they're teaming up like this, and I like them. Hit List number 3, also from Xenoscope. Really good. It feels like it should be an Image book. It's that level of good. This is assassins who, some of them are not happy with there's shades of evil. So if you're assassins and it turns out the people you're working for are on human trafficking, that makes them bigger bastards and you want to take them out. But some people like the money and kind of want to still continue to work with that. So you've got this kind of political agenda of assassins, and who knew that assassins could be that political. Legends of Red Sonja number 3. It's gorgeous. Nicholas Scott writing. Très bien. You've got Gail Simone, Lee Moore, Nicholas Scott, Rihanna Pratchett, Jack Jensen, Tula Latoy, Doug Holgate, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce that in any way, shape, or form. We'll say Nanny Bim. And it is a really good story. It is literally legends. There are people talking around. Some of them are enthralled with her. Some of them want to go and kill her, but they all are sharing their Red Sonja stories. Everything from her, screwing up enchantments without knowing that she was doing it. The origin of her armor, from an armorer who wore it originally and explains its virtues to Sonja. There's this great page of this armorer in the armor. Bloody axes, crazy smile on her face, and people looking up like, So it's just awesome. Very, very radically different art styles for each part of this, for the in-between segments and for the different stories, but really, really good. Badass number 1 was a lot of fun. This is Dead End. He is a killer for hire. That is it Mozart Kitty? Is that what that was called? Amadeus Kitty. Another assassin, and they take out Green Dragon, who is running some Chinese organized crime, but he's actually a Dragon Man, and they have their own little agendas, and you keep getting flashbacks to the not so badass origin of Badass, and it's a lot cooler than I thought, and I thought it'd be pretty cool because it looked good, but it was a lot more fun than I thought. And then Little Bionic Kids is the $6 Million Boy and little Jamie in a school for gifted youngsters, and their gift is that they're bionic, and they have to fit in. And of course, Sasquatch shows up, and it's like adorably drawn, and the story was cute and fun, and it got the little mazes and stuff in the middle. It was just a lot of fun. So, whew, that's that, interwebs. I really need a partner because I just don't shut up by myself. And this is getting too long even for me.